Live.
All right, shalom, shalom. Another beautiful weekend. Prophesying the downfall of this wicked, simple kingdom, which is America. Once again, we are the true Hebrew Israelites coming out. But before we do get into this Lord willing edifying camp lesson, we're going to start off by giving out honor, glory, and praise to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakudash.
Next up, the honor to our apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who taught us the ones to truth of the Bible and who rule well. Peace, love, salutations to all the brothers across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth in all diligence and sincerity. And you know, hey, once again, prophesying the downfall of this wicked and simple place, which is America, aka Babylon the Great, experiencing Sodom and Egypt, right? Prophecies are kicking into high gear. Everything is coming up. The Lord is showing us exactly what's going on, man. You know, so that's what I'm going to do.
So 2 Chronicles 36, I'll start at 15. 2 Chronicles 36, verse 15. And the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, power of their fathers, sent to them by his messengers, rising up betimes and sending.
Rising up betimes and sending. So first and foremost, showing you that look, the Lord sent men out here. So there are men out here, right? Jeremiah 3:15. I shall give you pastors according to my own heart. So there are men out here sent from the Heavenly Father, right? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You got it.
Yeah,
It said betimes, right? Before the evils and what we prophesying about, the plagues that are coming to the world, the sword, famine, death, destruction. So before all those things come to pass, the Lord set up men to warn you and tell you of these things. Right? That's what it means to prophesy, to speak on something before it happens.
Finishing 2 Chronicles 36, verse 15, it says, because he had compassion on his people and on his dwelling place.
Right, and so what you see right here, right, brothers up here, brothers down there, throughout the four corners of the earth, coming out to the highways and byways, that's compassion that the Heavenly Father is showing towards his people, who are the Israelites. Starting off with you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right, but also in this time we got the Israelite foreigners, Israelites who look like these other nations, but whose seed line goes back to the seed line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right?
But it may say, because the Lord put the Spirit on men to make a sacrifice for their nation. You got the 144 right there on the red, on the license plate. You know, the Lord set up men to make a sacrifice for his nation, because we had every excuse not to come out here. You know, brothers might have been had a sickly morning, woke up sick, you know, throwing up, whatever, right? But the Lord, you know, exhausted, maybe work last night, right? The Lord has men, you know, who the Lord has put the Spirit on men, you know, to come out here, right? To make their bodies a living sacrifice. And this is a labor of love that you're seeing, right? This is the love of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to our people, telling you to turn back and repent. This is glad tidings. The kingdom of heaven is being built right before your very eyes. The throne of David. You better got it.
Can you get this
Yeah. No, I did. Okay. But okay. It's Proverbs 27 and verse 5. Proverbs 27 verse 5. Open rebuke is better than secret love.
Right. Open rebuke is better than secret love. So, hey, look, and that's what this is, right? When we come out and we bring out, thus said the Lord, thus said the Bible, what this is, what that is, correction, right? That's why scripture say that fools despise wisdom and instruction. Because when we come with this word, when we come with this wisdom, knowledge, understanding, it comes with instruction. It comes with discipline. And it also comes with calling our people out, right? When you see us doing it, they love, y'all hate this, y'all always calling people out, y'all always saying this.
Yeah, the Lord said, hearken ye children. You your children, they doing something wrong, you call them out.
Exactly, yeah.
You scrutinize them, you get on them. Yeah. You know better, you know how you're supposed to be doing it. And we come as ambassadors for the Lord.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, there's a higher authority. You know, there's certain men have higher authority than others. The priest should keep knowledge, and thou shalt hear the law at his mouth, for he's the messenger of the Lord of hosts. The Lord of armies, and you are attempting to rebel against his authority that he has down here upon the earth.
Proverbs chapter 8, verse 32. Now therefore, hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. Hear instruction, and be wise, and refuse it not.
Yeah, don't refuse the instruction. You know, here it is. We're telling you not to teach what you have on. Jake want to teach what they have on. He's telling you don't put your woman in the video. You're putting your woman in the video. Jake is just doing whatever they want. They're rebellious children, stiff-hearted. You know, and that's the scripture say, why should you be stricken anymore? You will rebel more and more. Jake is being in a position of being stricken. You know, the fact you gotta go work every day. You know, Monday through Friday, you gotta be there. You gotta do something that you with your precious time that you don't want to do. We're in slavery. In the slavery, the squeeze is getting tighter, you know, to keep Jake in check, you know, so Jake don't have extra money to be out here in the streets just doing whatever they want. The Lord wants you to be at home studying, you know, using this time of grace to get ready for the time of Jacob, the heightening of Jacob's trouble, the hour of temptation, you know, when it's going to be like a time like no other down here upon the earth.
Yeah, because Esau Edom, he don't want to give people, he don't want to give us time to invest into ourselves, you know, spiritually, mentally, and physically. Yep. Because, you know, like the brother just said, you know, we dedicate all this time and hours to going to work in captivity instead of being able to actually build ourselves up and put that and focus all that energy into ourselves and our you know our loved ones.
Yep.
Hear instruction and be wise and refuse it not. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the posts of my doors.
Yep, and it says watching daily at his gates. What is that? Deuteronomy 16:18. Judges and officers shall thou put in thy gates, and they shall be leaders over you. Right? So we're the judges and officers that the Lord has set up at the gates. The gates is the entrance of the city. And this is the entrance to the kingdom of heaven. This is the way. You know, walk ye in it. And when you in this, you gotta act like a citizen. You in the kingdom, you gotta act like a citizen. A Jew is not one outwardly only, but a Jew is inwardly first. You know, you gotta circumcise the foreskin of your mind, right? You got it, bro. Whatever goes down.
For whoso findeth me, findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord.
That's right, and this is talking about wisdom. Whoso findeth me, whoso findeth wisdom, you have found life. You have found the meaning of what it means to live down your true purpose. While everyone else is asleep. Everyone else is still sleeping. Scrolling on Instagram all day, YouTube shorts. It's just a bombarded information. You know, watch this clip. The guy said, you know, you're going to see this clip and you're going to forget it. So he didn't want to be interviewed, you know, but he said, look, if people, your viewers, they're going to see this clip and they're going to forget it. You know, this is just senseless information. You ain't doing them no good because they don't have the power and wherewithal and Yahweh Shemel Shah on their side to overcome this system. You got to lean upon the Lord. You know, that's the only way out. Securing the bag ain't going to do it. You know, your money ain't long enough, you know, to come against what's really coming. The powers that be. China buying up all this gold. Who are they buying the gold from? You know? Everyone just got all this gold everywhere, but where's your gold? You know? Showing you, Jake, you don't got anything. You got it, bro.
I got one more. Proverbs 9:6. Forsake the foolish and live, and go in the way of understanding.
Yep, for the foolish, you know, and live and go in the way of understanding. You know, blessed are the undefiled who walk in the way of the Lord, right? So those who are undefiled, you're not contaminated with the filth of this world. We don't want to be here, so we don't take pleasure in the things you people take pleasure in. You know? Was there anything you have something to bring out?
Real quick. This is Haggai 1:6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough.
Why? Because you really don't understand what's really coming. Jake is still fixated about, you know, just I gotta get the bag. I gotta get to the money. You know, I was watching the Wayne Brothers movie, the Mo Brothers.
Yeah.
You know, these niggas, everything. The niggas have a job, but they need more money. They kept getting deeper and deeper into the wickedness because they needed more money. When's enough enough? You know, because what Jake is, they have told you that money leads to money will make you happy. You know, and it's easy for the rich to say money won't make you happy, but see, people don't understand peace of mind. Yahweh Shai said, "My peace I leave with you, not as the world give I unto you." So the true peace, the true comes following these scriptures, taking heed to Yahweh by Shema Shai.
Haggai 1:6. Ye have sown much and bring in little.
Mm-hmm.
Ye eat, but ye have not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink.
That's right, because Jake is trying to build on a foundation that is breaking up. That's crumbling. You build on this foundation, the foundation that we're building upon, Yahweh Shai, right, and the apostles and the prophets. And in due season you shall reap if you faint not. You're gonna reap the kingdom of heaven. You know, bags that would, you know, wealth that's never gonna fade away.
Yeah, this kingdom is rotted out.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no fixing it or healing it. You know, it's rotted and rusted and deteriorated all the way down to the core. It's defiled. It's degraded. It can't be rebuilt. And like the brother said, you know, Jake, they want to taste the bag. They want to make a happily ever ending here in American Mystery Babylon the Great. If you got eyes to see, you see it's impossible to have a happily ever ending here in America. Because, for one, in order for them to say you allowed to retire, you got to work till you 65, 67.
Yep.
So that means if you 30 or 20, you got to have in your mind, you got to work the next 30 plus years of your life before you could sit down and still be struggling.
And 30 is the new 60. You know, 60 years. How brothers feel now in this generation, being 30, being 40, you know, hips hurting, hips tight, knees hurt, cracks and pops, digestive issues, you know, the mental delay that you have, the non-mental clarity at times. That's how a 60-year-old used to feel back in the day. But that's how you feel in that 30. And they want you to charge the system for another 30 years while they build these data centers.
You already broken down. They say, all right, now you got to give us another 30 plus years, 30, 40 years.
And you're about to be replaced. If you can't keep up demand, they're going to replace you with a robot. Oh, now you're obsolete. You're outdated. And they literally had a Disney movie, Pixar movie called Robots. And the dad, you know, in the movie, he was an old model, and the new models came, and he couldn't find any work. You know what I mean? They be showing you.
Yep.
You brothers got it.
Yep.
I got one more priest. I got another priest.
I'm gonna finish this real quick. This Haggai 1:6. From the top, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough.
Mm-hmm.
Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink.
You know, every other day I feel like, you know, if you don't meal prep, if you don't buy groceries and with the intention on cooking and having food already prepared, it's just like, you know, you always gotta go spend money on food. You know, you always gotta go spend money on food. You want some decent food, you're gonna spend a bag. You know, hyperinflation is in full effect right now.
Yep.
You know, keep saying it. It's not lifestyle inflation anymore. You know, a lot of people have deflated their lifestyles, moved back in with their parents. You know, getting evicted. You know, people, you know, shacking up in houses. You got people staying in hotels, living in their cars. But they can't afford the basic necessities of life. They can't even afford that anymore. Especially if you see yourself on the sign, so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native American. Yeah, bro.
Finish out. It reads, ye clothe you, but there is none warm.
Mm-hmm.
And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes.
That's right. He that earneth wages to put into a bag with holes. You know? And you see now, with the hyperinflation, you see, I believe you can look it up, right? I believe over 50%, 40% of six-figure earners are living paycheck to paycheck. You know, you have the highest delinquencies on mortgage loans, highest the credit. You know, I believe the U.S. credit debt is over like $1 trillion. You know, it's a ridiculous number. There's so much money just in credit card debt alone, and that's high interest debt. So you're not getting out of that, you know, anytime soon. Some people never pay back their credit card debt, right? You know, this is just, you know, and people, and when you can't lean on, what are you going to lean on?
Or student loans.
Student loans. You know, so this place is waxing worse and worse. Oh, you got a precept, bro? Was that anything I got?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
Just 26.
Bring out precept.
This is Baruch, chapter 3, verse 8. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us. For a reproach.
Yep, so we are yet this day serving our punishment. But in the punishment, you send your child to the corner, the nigga want to dance. He want to dance his ass to the corner. You know, and then you get on him, and 5 minutes later, he dancing again. You know, what are you going to do to that child? You're going to take a whooping to him. You know, and our people, the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shah, is whooping you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans by taking away your EBT benefits, right? These benefits that you so trust in the teats of the government, especially you women of our nation, the females, right? Trusting in this system. I don't need a man. This will be my man, right? You're seeing that these things are failing you here in these days. Read that again.
Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us.
So we got kicked out of the Holy Land, the land of Israel, and we were carted away into captivity. Right? Go ahead.
For a reproach.
And we're a reproach. You got these other nations, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Arabs. They tell their women, don't date black men. You know, they're the worst. They're the scum. You know, when you go into a Whole Foods, they look at you. You know, what's he doing in my store? You know, they don't want you around. You're a reproach. They don't want you in America. Why do you think they have the ICE raids taking the Northern Kingdom away, so-called Negro Latino, so-called Latino tribes, sending them back to the South America? You know, sending them back to Haiti. Right, you have the Northern Kingdom, the Southern Kingdom as well. The so-called blacks. You want to say something?
Haitians, the Haitians.
The Haitians, Jamaicans. What are they? They get rounded up in Chicago, but I thought they're citizens. You know, it's all an agenda, and this is the Lord coming down with great wrath upon His people. Because the Lord is highly upset with how you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have been living your lives down here upon the earth, because you're God's chosen people. Go ahead.
And the curse, and to be subject to payments.
That's right. So we're under the curses of Deuteronomy, 28th chapter. Right. So we fell under those curses. You know, being a byword and a proverb, to be our minds smitten with madness. And how did it come to pass? So by eating GMO foods, highly super processed food, you know, not having care for your diet. That's why Scripture say, "My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because thou hast hated knowledge. I will reject thee." You know, so our people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, even while the time of grace, even while the period where the Lord said, "I'm here to grant you return," you know, our people are rejecting this message.
Still want to smoke weed, gang bang, kill each other, steal from each other.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our God.
Yep. It says, and to be subject to payment. So this system, America is set up for you to be subject. That word subject means under the rule of payment. And how do you make your payment? By none other than the almighty dollar. You need this dollar to make your payments that you are under the rule of. So what? You have to go to work. You have to be a servant in this society. You know, you have to serve your enemy in a land that thou knewest not, right? So you're subject to these payments, and it was never set up for you to get ahead, right? Bring your precept out.
This is Second Ezra. This short point. It says Second Ezra 9, and I'm gonna start at verse 10. Right? For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 11, and they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty.
Yep, and they that loathed my law, because you have liberty right now. No, Jake don't really realize how much liberty, how much leniency Yahweh Shema Shai is really given, men, the men on earth. The Lord is being long suffering, and during this liberty that we've been given, is the time to reflect, time to really examine yourself. And what you do off camera matters about more than what you do on camera. Because people will go on social media and act like they're living these great lives, show you their favorite recipe that they're cooking, their gym workout routine, what they're doing at the gym, but they're not telling you how they're dealing with shoulder pain. They're not telling you that they're dealing with digestive issues, right?
Or they living check to check.
They're living paycheck to paycheck. No, they're not being real. It's all a dream. You can live this life and have the happy-go life as well. It's not real. It's an illusion.
Hey, you got tens of thousands of Jakes a few miles away at the state fair.
Oh yeah.
Like Sis Sweet. But here it is in a week or two.
You heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you was at the job.
Especially the EBT situation where it gets, where it ain't coming in.
Yeah. Jake don't got the money to really go to the fair. It's really just like, well, I got a little, I spend my last to go. They spend their last to go to the fair. I'm going to work a little overtime, or I might steal at the grocery store. I might do a little stealing to make up this fair fund. When people go to Walmart, they steal. They're thieves. They're criminals. And that's why the so-called white man wants you out of their society. Because you trust in this system. That's why you gotta do things like that. Because you don't got the Lord on your side. The land of Goshen, all over again. 2025 reincarnated. In the land of Egypt, once again. The hedge of protection with those who fear the Lord. That's stability. Go ahead.
Second Ezra 9 and 11. And they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty.
Another 144. The Lord show you signs. You got guardian angels around you. The Lord is working on the minds of men because this is a movie. You got to stick to the script. And you just got to play your role in the movie. And we're praying that we endure to the end. All right, that we're the vessels of mercy fitted for salvation, while 2/3 of the vessel of wrath fitted for destruction, following after the ways of their daddy Esau Edom. Yeah, bro.
We saw it, verse 11, right? And when as yet place of repentance was opened unto them, understood not, but despised it.
Are we in the open right now? Are we in some disclosed location? No, wisdom cried without, she uttered her voice in the streets. The Lord told you to go to you got some brothers in highway location, and you got some brothers in byways. Because not everybody hops on the interstate. Some people take the back roads. I'll put in the extra minutes, so I don't gotta get on that crazy interstate. So you got some brothers on the byways. You see? But yet they're out here in the open. And we post our videos on the internet, on YouTube. Right? When you used to post on YouTube back in the day, you used to say publish.
Yep.
You know, to publish, to proclaim, to make public. So we're making this thing public. So the place of repentance is open unto you. The Lord hath commanded all of the Israelites, all men everywhere, to repent. You want to say something, bro?
Yeah, because you mentioned sometimes some people take the back roads and go by the byways. And even the byways and the back roads got traffic. It might not have as much as the highway, but it's somebody coming through there.
Yeah.
You know?
That's right. Any more?
Verse 12. The same must know it at the death by pain.
Yeah, the same. That's why in the times of Noah, the scriptures say, so shall it be in the days when the Son of Man will be revealed. Right? It says in the days of Noah, they knew not until the flood came and took them all away. They didn't know that the words that Noah was speaking were going to be faithful and true, that they were going to come to pass. They didn't consider those things. Right? You got it, bro. Mike.
Okay, yeah, I think I'll go with the point. This is Isaiah 10. I'll start at 3. I'll read 3 and 4. This is Isaiah 10 and verse 3. It says, "And what will ye do in the day of visitation, and in the desolation which shall come from far?"
Yeah, so a desolation is coming. And what will you do in that day? You know, what are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans going to do in the day of desolation? If you can't handle the pressure now,
Right.
if thy faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. So if you don't got no strength on your side, where the word of the Lord is, there is power, right? So we got the word of the Lord on our side, so we got power over here, right? But what are you gonna do in the day of desolation? You know, when things really get hard, because brothers, we just don't be fucking like, you know, we deal with we deal with our demons. You know, we ain't just thinking about slapping ass all day. You know, now Kings David men were chafed in their minds. You know, as a bear bereaved of her cubs. You know, so we're warriors. You know, men of war.
Men of valor.
You know, men of valor. You know, be mighty, you men of valor. We're men up here. The ancient spirit that our forefathers had, that's come upon us here in these times. And that's why we're going through what we're going through now, so we can get the increase. Because, you know, you hear brothers talk about the increase. They ain't just talking about the Lord just gonna press a button. Nah, you're doing that now. You're building yourself up now because things are getting harder. You know, I told a brother one time, I was talking to a brother, you know, he was like, "How was work?" I was like, "Man, the old me would have been defeated today." You know, it was hard, but the old me would have been defeated. You know, I've gotten so much stronger, you know, since a year ago. You gotta level up. You got it, bro. You know, cheetahs, bunch of cheetahs out here. You know, they probably work at Cheetah. If you know what I'm talking about.
Hell no.
Yeah, bro, got it. If you know, you know. Yeah, brother.
Isaiah 10 and verse 3.
You going, John, man?
This is Isaiah 10 and verse 3. It says, "And what will you do in the day of visitation?" It's pretty much the day of judgment. Then the Lord takes all account of what you've been doing on the earth, and that great spirit goes talking about.
Yeah.
You know, because visitation at this time, Isaiah 10 is talking about the Assyrians, man. You know, which the Assyrians, Babylon, the same people, but the northern tribe first got it first. The southern tribe got it worse, man. Happened the same thing now, man. Northern tribe getting visited, you know, and first, and then the southern kingdom getting visited, man. You know, and you liken on to 70 AD. The Lord prophesied in Luke 19 chapter about the day of visitation. And that's why he wept over the city, man, because, you know, things that were preached onto you for your peace, now your eyes are blinded from it, man.
Say each time the Lord had his men there, right? These signs, the Lord has been look at Jeremiah, right? Preach to the southern kingdom. What did he do? He used the example of the fucking northern kingdom going off, right? To try to get in the heads of the southern kingdom. But guess what? They were the southern kingdom. Scripture said they revolted even more. They did it worse than than Israel, than the northern kingdom.
Yeah,
Right?
I always like to say, you know, because brothers say, oh, northern kingdom went off first. Well, who's the bigger fool? The fool or the fool who follows him? You know what I mean? You know, I'm just talking my smack, you know? You know, so hey, it is what it is. You know, you seen it, you see what happened, and that's what the Lord was getting on. You seen what's happened to the northern kingdom, but like you still live in your ivory houses, living it up as if it couldn't come upon you. You a wise man learns from other men's mistakes.
Right.
So who's the bigger fool? Y'all rose, guys.
Finish in Isaiah 10 and verse 3.
You can read all the way to 5. Is that the point?
Yeah,
you know, we can read a little bit. Take your time. We're not in a rush. We ain't going nowhere. You got it.
Isaiah 10 and 3. And what will you do in the day of visitation and in the desolation which shall come from far?
Yep, so Esau Edom is about to come upon you in these days. He's that desolation. But really, he's just a tool. He's just a hammer that we use. It's really the Lord. It's really Yahweh by Shemal Shai don't like you. You know, God, your creator don't like you. Yes. You know what I mean? That's why he doesn't like your actions. He doesn't like how you conduct yourself. So you got to take it up with the Lord. The Esau Edom, scripture say what? Fear not man. You know, but I will forewarn you who you should fear. Fear him that is able to kill the body, right? And cast both a body in hell. The Lord can bring you into any type of low condition. You know? Really, you see most actors dropping after 50. You know, because they don't know how to slow down. You know, they just keep living that life. You know, they don't know how to slow down.
Like it's still 20 or 30.
Yeah, still living it up, and then their body just they drop like you know they're unalive suddenly. They're just finished. What do you think of the working class? Really, the Lord just has a battery in them. The Lord's allowing people to just stay on the earth. You see these females and who are crying about the envy. Our people look finished. Like, you ain't my cousin. You know, you ain't, you know, we're not the same people. That's why the scripture say a seed of evildoers. You know, they ain't Israel. They're 2/3. They're black. You know, they're Mexicans. They're not the seed of Jacob. You know, in the spirit. You know, so the Lord has them just, you know, somehow still here because he wants them to be punished even more. You got it, bro. You got the vessels of wrath fitted for destruction. So they have to put on a tab. They have to run up a bill that's worthy of this judgment. Same with the Edomites. You got it, bro.
Finish Isaiah 10 and 3. It says, to whom will you flee from? To whom will you flee for help? And where will you leave your glory?
Go and cry unto the gods whom ye have chosen. You know, go cry unto them. Go hit your cousin up the street. Ask him for help. All right? Don't come to the prophets during those times. We're going to be taken off the streets. The famine of the word is coming. You got it?
Isaiah 10, verse 4. It says, without me, they shall bow down under the prisoners. And they shall fall under the slain.
You got it. We're doing it.
Yep, so going to the Lord pretty much down, man. You shall bow down to the slaughter. You know, you have no other choices. Let's talk about point over them 4 kinds. You know, you're getting an appointment unto death. We read earlier, you know, you shall learn unto death by pain. The only time Jake pay attention, man, is when judgment is happening. You know, then you want to act sorrowful and be in a mournful state. You know, and then two hours after, you know, the visitation, as far as going to funerals, you know, you back on your same bullshit, man. You know?
Yeah, repast. Right? That's right after the funeral. We're eating and drinking, and this shit is basically a party.
They dancing again.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how life's supposed to be celebrated. But yeah, it's
back to the same bullshit.
Yeah, back to the same bullshit. Hey, Jake. Hey, before they go and put them in the ground, let's take some shots. You know what I mean? Like, some people, Jake really ain't doing it anymore. They doing it as an excuse to live it up.
Yeah. You got people that don't even be close to the person, or come from a whole nother state or city, just so they could dress up and put on their nicest apparel.
And try to sleep with
try to sleep with somebody, or try to say they've been living good, this, that, and the third, and like people be hypocrites, man, and just be doing shit.
Putting on fronts.
Yeah, putting on fronts, man.
While the enemy about to come in.
Right.
While judgment's about to come. So if they acting like that now, the Lord like, F you. I'm not dealing with a hypocritical nation. You got it, bro.
Jake has always been like that throughout the years, well, especially here in the Americas, right? After a certain amount of time, Jake always boasting up on how they are, what they do, what they'll do, and this and that. But then when their daddy Sleazy E come into the room, it's quiet, it's crickets. Exactly. It's been time and time again where now you have the Black Panthers and what's it, Green Berets, the Young Lords. There's another Ephraim one that rose up.
Yeah, you said the green.
That was a beret. Oh, I said berets. That's the actual what's the name? But
yeah, I don't
brown berets, I think.
I just know about the Young Lords.
But the point is, we've had certain instances where they try to stand up and rise up, but as a whole, when this devil come down, all the things he done to our people, man, they get real quiet. So all that loud chatter and all that, it's gonna be the same thing again. All that, you better not come to Chicago, you better not come to DC like that.
Hey, yo,
where them niggas? They know we're not promoting violence, but where them niggas at with them sticks? That was saying, yeah, come. We got sticks in Chicago, gang.
That here.
Yeah, I ain't gonna do this, that, and the third. But
well, during the C-19, you had everyone taking the jump shot.
Right.
That shows you how dependent they really are on the system. And they need it. They need this system. Yeah. They need a society to stay in order. Because they wouldn't know what to do with themselves. Mm-hmm. That's why you had the movie The Dark Knight, the Joker. He had them on the boat. He said, when the chips are down, they'll eat each other. And that's true. And that was a movie. They would press that button. Absolutely, they would. Who? Batman's coming to save the day? That the police is coming to save the day? Absolutely not. They don't believe that. They're gonna crash out. You got it, bro.
Like 2 seconds before you started snapping at each other.
Niggas crashing out now. And famine ain't here.
Yeah. You got it, Mike. Sorry. Let's read, brother.
It's Isaiah 10 and verse 4. It says, "Without me they shall bow down under the prisoners, and they shall fall under the slain." And remember, at this time, Jerusalem was sovereign. So Jake was proud as hell. Okay. Who gonna rule over us? Jerusalem. Southern kingdoms, they still had their kings. Not as far as that timeline, but of course, the northern tribe fell. They left, went to over here in so-called America, the western part of the world. And then the rest of the northern tribes, they got hemmed up and thrown in captivity, man.
Yep.
Up there in Samaria, grabbed up, kicked out. Because that's where they were at. And then you had heathen put there, man. Be the decree of the king. So again, going to the time of pride is because Jake was free, so to say. And they're thinking the same thing now. In America, you can't put me in slavery. Jake talking about, I'm not going back in chains and shackles. I'm not going back to slavery. We're not our forefathers. Yep. You're about to get a whole chip put in you, man. So finish Isaiah 10 and 4. It says, for all this, the anger of the Lord is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still.
Yep. For all of this, the anger of the Lord is not turned away. The Lord is going to do even more damage to you so-called Black Native Americans. The Lord is going to judge and jack our people up even more. Before, after the doors of mercy close, and you done spent all your mercy, it's going to get even worse. And you think things are bad now. You got a quick one?
Yeah, because you mentioned pride.
Yeah, bring it out, bro.
This is Proverbs chapter 28, verse 25. He that is of a proud heart stirreth up strife, but he that putteth his trust in the Lord shall be made fat.
Yep. You know, because pride is blinding. You know, I can do it. I can do it, spirit. I don't need your help. Like, hey, you should do it this when you snap at them. That's what they doing to the prophets. That's what they doing to the Lord when He gives you instructions. So it's stirring up strife. The Lord, you know what? You ain't gonna snap back at me, you know, little girl. That's how the Lord, you know, the nation of Israel, a young woman. You know, you bucking up against, you know, you had this movie called Leo the Professional. You know, he was a professional hitman. He took a little girl in. You know, she was like 12, 13. Her parents had got killed. You know, that's how, you know, we're coming under the tutelage of the Lord. We're young. You know, a young maid being brought up. You know, getting ready for our husband. You know, so we supposed to be learning our manners. You know, overcoming youthful lust. You know, this is what Jacob's supposed to be doing during these time of grace, but they're living in pride. You got it, bro.
He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool. Mm-hmm. But whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered.
You ever give somebody wisdom? Hey, you know, you told me you ever tried this? Well, you know, I like to do this. It can be something simple, you know. Hey, you know, like you drink lemon water, you eat some garlic. You know, I like to do the garlic and this like this. You know, I like to do this, that. You know. Mm-hmm. And he just trusting in his own heart. And that's how our people are ultimately in this American system. They're trusting in their own mind, like I can overcome. I can escape the matrix. You know? That dude, Andrew Tate, he's hilarious. He had a clip, him and his brother in 2023. He said, you're broke. He just was screaming, you're broke. He said something else, but he said in 2024, you're broke. Yeah, just in the middle of the 2025, you're a brokey. You're broke. You know, you don't got anything. So why not cleave to the best thing going on? The finest woman, you know, the most eligible man just pulled up to you at the dance and, hey, you want to dance? Nah, I'm good. It's 12 o'clock. Mm-hmm. You ain't been asking the invoice this whole time. The one guy that asked you, I'm good. Come on, man.
Well, if you have been asking, they've been fucking you over all night. Stepping on your toes, you know what I'm saying?
You know?
Wrong dance partner. There's a right dance partner, like you said, the eligible one coming up, the one that's perfect and right for you, and then you turn them down. Mm-hmm. At the last hour, the light's about to cut on.
The light's about to come on. You know? Nah, I'm good. Get away from here. Get. After you done been jucking and driving all night. Oh, you know? But yeah, bro, Scott, let's get up.
Hoping for somebody to talk to
you. Do you have any more on that?
Yeah, I got one.
Bring it out, brother.
Proverbs 29 and 23. A man's pride shall bring him low, but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit.
Yep, and honor, you know, what makes a man honorable? His actions. You know, following after righteousness. So that's the righteousness, being a man of honor. That's what's gonna uphold you. And during the time we're coming into, because you got a agreement with wisdom. You know, you've made yourself allied with the wisdom of Yahweh Shemel Shai. You see, you have counselors that actually know how to figure things out. You know, that was it, bro.
Yep. But like you said, Jake, you be sitting there. He'll ask you for help. You'll give him the solution to the problem, and then they'll turn around and try to tell you how to fix the problem, and they the ones that ask you for help.
Yep.
You clearly don't.
You don't got it.
You clearly don't got it, but now I'm trying to tell you. Now you trying to argue with me and trying to tell me how to do it.
Well, wait a minute. You know, wait a minute. I'm like, well, hold on, you asked me. So, like, what are you saying? Wait a minute now. You asked me about, you know, what type of fruit you should be eating. You know, now I say this. Well, I like plums. I'm like, all right. Well, why you ask me for? That's all Jake.
Go get you some plums.
No, I mean, damn. Why'd you ask me what I should eat? If you like plums, all right. Damn, leave me alone. But go ahead, bro.
We
can start 12.
This is Isaiah 13 and verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold,
And brothers have been talking about, I think there was the other Apostle Hart that mentioned it's very spiritual how gold prices have increased from 2020 until now. You have doubled in value. I mean, if you really locked in the spirit, over these last few years, in the faith, you should have doubled in value. Brothers, we should be leveling up as a body. Overcoming old habits, old behaviors. Not really being entangled under the same temptations you might have dealt with. You got to go from glory to glory in this thing. Right? So the Lord is making a man. He said, I will make a man, an Israelite man, a man with wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the Lord. To understand prophecy, the testimony of our Lord Yahweh Shai. Can't say that enough.
Isaiah 13 and 12, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir.
That's right. And really, even gold is like, it's the hot thing right now. Gold is, everybody's talking about gold, but where is it? Even though everyone is talking about it, you have to go search and find it. It's not on that gold watch, that gold plated watch. Now that's not the gold that Yahweh Shai is talking about. So the Lord is gonna make a man's value more precious than this fine gold. So gold is doubled in value. What is a man of the Lord gonna do? Mm-hmm. How is his value gonna increase? Exponentially. We're going to the moon, baby. We're going to the moon. We're holding. Hold. Inside joke. Go ahead.
We saw in Isaiah 13. This is Isaiah 13. Isaiah 13 and verse 13. You can have it. Yep. It reads on. Therefore I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place in the wrath of the Lord of hosts, and in the day of his fierce anger.
So, what does 11 say? Did it say they should be like the Chase Row?
No, that's coming.
Okay.
That's 14. Yeah.
Okay, kind of. Read that.
Isaiah 13 and 14. And it shall be as the chase row, and as a sheep that no man taketh up.
Yep. And they shall be like the chase row. What is a row? A deer. Yeah. So you see the deer, a deer, when it's like everything is always suddenly with the deer. Like the deer is not, alert in the sense of like when you can really creep up on them, right? And Jacob's being compassed about with the armies, right, of Esau and Edom. The floods of truth is already here. The ice age is already in place, right? The robots, they want one in every home. It's what they say in iRobot. It's unsafe for you to leave your house right now. We have implemented a curfew. Mm-hmm. You see, so they're getting everyone into place. So Jacob's gonna in the deer, right? You sneak up on him. He looks around suddenly, just looks around, and then just bugs out. He might run into the tree, he might trip and fall, then keep trying to run and get away. He's not really. He just does things. And that's the spirit of our people, and they should be like the chase row.
Isaiah 13 and 14, and it shall be as the chase row, and as a sheep that no man taketh up.
Yeah, because a sheep is defenseless. What is a sheep really going to do against the wolf? What is the sheep going to do when it's stranded and it's afraid to cross the water? And it's not even that deep. It's not that deep right there. It's not it's not even that hard. It's this simple. This is that simple. It's right there. Just walk. What are you gonna do? When you can't even handle it now? You got it, bro.
It reads on, verse 14. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee every one into his own land.
Who is standing up for the northern kingdom? No, free Palestine.
Right.
You know, who is standing up for the northern kingdom? You know, this whole no kings protest, that's more so just on the executive orders DJ Trump's been putting it in. You know, that's for quote unquote democracy. That's not for the northern kingdom tribes. That's not for the southern kingdom tribes.
Right. Because you don't see the northern and southern kingdom. The northern and southern kingdom was screaming free Palestine all day. Signs, shirts, flags, marching. But you don't see no Arabs, no Indians, or none of that saying leave the Hispanics alone.
Yep, who shall bemoan thee, O Jerusalem? You know, who shall pity thee? Who shall ask thee how thou doest? You know, so who's doing it? Yahweh Shema Shai is doing it right now. But do you care? Yeah, no, a majority of our people don't. Right? So in that day, you're gonna see, and you see right now, you see everyone, going to their own people. You got people during the 2024 election, the 2020. We had this thing called the Exodus election. You know, because people were leaving. People are now getting on the internet saying, I need to leave America. You know, America ain't it no more. And really, it's not. You know, America is through. It's a trash can. Now they got some excluded areas, of course. It's a big country, but the metropolises, the major cities in America are finished, where all the people are heavily concentrated.
Isaiah 13 to verse 14, from the top, and it shall be as the chase roe, and as a sheep that no man taketh up, they shall every man turn to his own people and flee every one into his own land.
Go ahead.
Verse 15, every one that is found shall be thrust through.
Everyone that is found joined onto this system, onto this American way of life, trusting in it, you're going to be thrust through. You know, Scripture say you shall be pierced with many sorrows. You know, you put your hand on the broken reed, the staff of a broken reed, you know, that's unable to support you, and it pierces you. Never trust thine enemy. Right? All these scriptures warn our people not to trust this man, not to go in the way of Esau either. But our people, look at the women, look at the females. And those women that's on the camera, you know, no one is choosing those women. You know what I mean? That's like the leftovers. That's, you know,
and they still proud.
They're still proud.
And think they deserve a six-figure man that's 6 foot with a six-pack.
I saw a video saying how big women used to be humble. A big woman used to be the woman that used to, in the clips telling, that used to be the girl you just go to when you down and out. You just got off of, you know, something nice. You know, you on a dry spell. You need a meal to be cooked, and she'll happily do it. Remember, the big woman used to say, "Come get with us." You know, we'll treat you with love. Now they proud.
They're proud as fuck now.
They used to be humble.
You used to be taking one for the team when you did with the big woman.
Now you through.
Now you try to take one. Now you try to take one for the team. If you with the, you know, in the scenario with the fellas, whatever, the big bitch clowning you. No, motherfucker, I'm the one taking one for the team.
You should be happy I'm even dealing with you.
You know what?
That was it on Isaiah?
If that's what you want. We'll do it more on 15.
Okay.
Isaiah 13 and verse 15. Every one that is found shall be thrust through, and every one that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword.
Yep. Why? Yeah, read that part.
Verse 16.
So it says, everyone who is joined unto them shall be thrust through by the sword. Them troops are going to come in. You know, men evading one another because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Shit, you know? about to get serious out here.
Shit.
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna get down there.
Yeah. Okay. Hold the camera up. No, off on the phone. Yeah, just wire. Just gonna
Isaiah 13 and verse 16. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes.
You think? Come on, bro. These Jake, they had them tied up. You know, zip tied up. Probably threw their little asses on the ground.
Yeah.
You know, get on the ground. You know, got them zip tied up. Put that little kid. You know, so people are not gonna spare the young. You think a grown, you know, people are already in the spirit deleting their baby. Well, you see with what was Abraham's Ishmael's wife's name? You know, the mother of Ishmael.
The mother of Ishmael?
Yeah.
It was Abraham.
Yeah, Sarah and I can't remember. But you remember she threw her baby away when things got hard. Hagar? Yeah. No. Jake.
That's the harmony of
Yep. Okay.
She basically sent him in the wilderness.
Nah, she just dropped that thing in some bushes. I can't. She like, you know, like you young, you got a football in your hand, you pouting, you throw the football down, you just toss it a little, you know, toss it like it was a old piece of bread that got moldy. You know, it's crazy. And man, that's when women had sense. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Through the women, we all died, and women have pushed, you know, these children up. You know, women have raised these men. You know, that you see in society today, especially of our tribe, of the black community, so-called black community, right? And they're a bunch of degenerates, YNs, want to be a clown, want to put on an image, can't be serious, everything a joke. You know, brothers just say it's going to be all funny when Esau put your curve stop you. You know, brothers, you make that joke about getting curve stopped by some Edomites. You know, that's how this time that's come into. Ain't no mercy going to be shown by the slayer. You have the title of the slayer. You have the title as the man of sin, right? The wicked. What do you think? What do you think he's gonna do to you? He's already giving you recycled sewage water to drink, to brush your teeth with, to bathe with. He's already dropping chemtrails in the air. What do you think he's gonna do when the cameras are off?
Hey, speaking of chemtrails, they said since the government shut down, people haven't been seeing chemtrails like that.
And it's true.
Yeah, I've been seeing videos, and they like, yo, the sky's been clear since the government been shut down.
Those state workers, those federal workers.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, you gotta get permission to get on a plane. You gotta get permission to fly a plane. You know, you need certification. You gotta go through Big Brother, E.
Yep.
So you think flying them planes, dropping all that stuff. And this is why society isn't attached. I was talking to a farmer about ground beef. He's like, you know, it's good to buy from us because, you know, we get our certified proven that we don't mix our meat with rat meat. We don't mix our beef with rat. And I believe during the Super Bowls, this is years ago when the Black Eyed Peas were formed, there was a stupid article that came out saying that the record amount of wings were sold, right? But another article saying that it was investigated. Those wings were really rats. You know?
Oh yeah.
Chicken wings. You know, all them small ass chicken wings. That's rat meat. Well, did you wake up to the Matrix? Did you see Neo? Did you see what them niggas was eating? That's what we eat. It's just the truth.
They was eating the shit from Snowpiercer.
Yeah, we eat stuff.
They put the tacos in the bar. Like in front of the train, we eat real food.
Motherfuckers even block.
Killing themselves over it.
Yes, yes.
Oh, the black bars came. The black bars, they came.
Black Mars fucking cocktail.
They were so excited. When they got into the room where they were being made, they ate them up.
Yep.
Man, we're in the lowest state right now, bro. If you want to stay here for a piece of ass in some fiat currency, you're not right in the head.
Right.
Good, bro.
Everything in this world is tainted. Not the water, the food, the air, your clothes. You get you a woman now, you might be playing with life or death. You might be playing with life or death, getting some box now.
You guys had 24 and 4, I believe.
Can't even have fun if you really want to like that.
Before you kind of say, I'm going to get a second to 16 and 70.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
But we can wait. We can get these two right
Yeah,
quick.
give me these guys. They had 24. I think it's verse 4. Yeah, straight.
So Isaiah 24, verse 5, it says the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant.
That's right. The earth has been defiled because the program has a virus. That's all these so-called parasites. And I'm trying to say it like that. Parasites. You got put the word together, because medical. They look like demons under a microscope. When you look at tumors, they look like bugs. Now those bugs are inside of you. What did they show you in the Matrix? They put that bug inside of them. To basically get them back into the system. So these foods, this is to get them back into their programming, because these foods change your D to the N to the AA, to the IZA. I can't rap. Go ahead.
It's like that in I know you probably say, I don't know if you played it a lot, but Resident Evil, right? I was just playing Resident Evil 4. The parasites that it's a chemical, but the point is it's chemical warfare. It's bio warfare.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not just happenstance. They're putting these like parasites into people's bodies and using the people as the army, or to fit their system or their agenda. And it's the same thing that's happening. Umbrella, like, you know what I'm saying? They out here in the real world as well, right? Feeding you anything to control your minds, right?
Yep, and what they show you in that movie, they had simulations of how they were going to seize control over all the cities, all the major cities.
Yep. They were all FFs. We're not
false events.
Yes, exactly.
They were all controlled,
exactly.
Live action experiments. Making war against the people.
Yep.
Right? He whets his tongue like a sword.
Yep.
And biological warfare is supposed to be a crime, according to Esau Edom. But yet, he's using biological warfare on his own people.
Yep.
On top of the other nations.
Yep, they're at war continually.
Yeah.
I don't know, was Willis done?
Yeah, that was it. That was straight to the point. Just backing up. The matrix code is broken. I asked myself, is it read it again now? We'll read it one more time.
It's Isaiah chapter 24, in verse 5. It says the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant.
Yeah, it is what it is. This is a condition of the battle that men that are born upon the earth shall fight. This is what you got to deal with. And that's why there should be, like, every day, there should be a longing for the Lord to return. For Yahweh Shema Shai, thy will be done in earth as in heaven. We need order down here upon the earth, because the ordinance has been broken. Should I wash my food? You buy some cucumbers from the store. The damn nigga at the store, they'll touch your cucumbers. It's been in a dirty box. But wait a minute. This water I'm about to wash my food with got fluoride in it. Got women's hormones all over it. It got feces on it. Micro feces in it. It's recycled feces water. You're like, damn, what's worse? You bug out. Like, shit, I ain't washing this. You know, sometimes you wash it, you use a baking soda, but that has cyanide in it. You know, so what you want to do? You know, you got it, brothers. Whatever, brothers got.
I was reading something recently. They said tomatoes giving people a salmonella. Like, damn, you can't even be healthy. You can't even. You can't even try to be healthy in this society. You know, you eat strawberries and fruits. You get salmonella or E. coli or some other madness.
Mad cow disease.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, bro.
Micah 2:10. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. Because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction.
That's right. So this place is polluted. And you should be, man, I gotta get out of here. You know, you had in the movie The Matrix, you had Agent Smith asking, well, why do you keep getting up, Mr. Anderson? Why do you persist? Because you gotta have the spirit to choose to. You gotta choose life every single day. You could do this, it's right there. It's literally an arm reach away. Sin is an arm reach away at all times.
Closer.
It's on your shoulder.
Yeah.
It's in you, right? But you have to choose life. You have to persist. You have to persist and persevere. Persevere and persist. Persistence is how you're gonna get this victory. And it's like you're gonna be a little crazy at times. And you gotta be. Do you see where we are? But the Lord is keeping us there. The Lord is keeping us in this fight. You gotta be obsessed with this with change, becoming a new creature of Yahweh Shema Shai. But if you don't do it now, society is gonna force you to change to something you don't want to be, a bug out. Yeah, bro. That was it. Can we go?
I got Romans 12 right quick.
Yeah, you bring out Romans 12. You want to speak for a little bit, Mike? You want to take over for a little bit? We got like 30, 40 minutes left.
Yeah.
We'll probably wrap it up around like 5:30 at the latest.
This is Romans chapter 12. I beseech you, therefore, brethren.
What word
12
you
verse 4.
Okay, come on.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahweh, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy.
If I may say, because you have athletes, they sacrifice for what they want, for what they really want, and people really sacrifice for what they want every single day.
No pain, no gain, right?
No pain, no gain. People really sacrifice. People go to work. They'll keep a roof over their head just so they can continue playing their video games. Just so they can still have the liberty to drink a little bit on the weekend. They don't realize that's what they're working for. They don't realize that's what they're doing because they're blinded, but that's what they're sacrificing their lives for. So we, are being begged, right, by the Spirit of the Lord to sacrifice your life for something with purpose, something with meaning. Don't die like this. Don't waste your life away. You got it, bro.
That you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto Yahweh, which is your reasonable service.
Right? So this is our reasonable service. A man not to ought to think of himself more highly than he should. You just be a humble servant. Realize that this is all I can do. When there's nothing for you, you do all you can, right? And we've been given instructions of what we need to do to give it our all, right? And it's not called to be proud, kudos, pat on the back. No, do it because it's good. We're doing this because it's good for us. Go ahead, brother.
And getting to the point, you said, and be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh.
It really goes back to the breath, because as it goes into Adam, he was soulless. He was without a soul. It says that in the third chapter, in the 5th verse. Until what? Until the Lord breathed into his nostrils, man. Breathed life into him. You can only be alive unless you got the wisdom of Yahweh Shah with you, man. That's why it goes into a living body, a living spirit, Because again, to be alive, you have to take heed to the words of Yahweh Shah, man. And go to Ezekiel 37th chapter about the body come back together, dry bones. It's because why? It was prophesied on. Did not the Lord tell Ezekiel to prophesy onto these bones? Not so they live. Not by tap dancing, being on podcasts, being a globetrotter, going on the 7 seas with a PJ private jet, talking about you doing the work of the Lord, man. You're just a glorified evangelist, man. Talking purple gold wearing.
The laws, the statutes, the commandments. That's why they use the microphone. It's theatrics. It's just like, it's like Jake is cringe-worthy.
Yeah, bro, got it.
And be not conformed to this. Romans chapter 12, verse 2. And be not conformed to this world.
Be not conformed to this world. When you was young, especially looked up to older cats, you want to be like them. That's conforming. The cool kid at the lunch table. The nigga wore his socks tucked in with his pants tucked into his socks. And now you doing it, Or Jake used to do rubber bands and shit, You doing that, why? Because you be conformed to the image of this world. You want to present yourself and be liked by the people of this world. But it says in the book of Romans as well, friendship with the world is enmity with the Most High, man. If you're a friend of the world, I think it says that in James as well. If you're a friend of the world, you're an enemy of the Most High, man.
Yep.
And that's why, again, the Lord's separating us from these, American Babylonian tendencies. That's why Jacob was in the wilderness for 40 plus years, because we were being detoxed, man. All them, Egypt tendencies. That's why Jacob, the first thing, he called adversity, he's crying about the leeks and the cucumbers. The soft light, the onions, But the Lord, again, is separating us to harden us, man, to test us, to try us. Because we're coming to some serious hard times, man. And if you're not putting your body up, because did not the Lord say that's one of the things that, if you don't put away, you can't be a disciple. He said your own life also. A man can put away his mother, his brother. Most they don't care about their people anyways, man.
They'll do it alone.
Yep, the same shit, But when it comes to you, putting yourself on the line, you're not going to do that, man. And that's why, again, you can't serve the Lord if you attach to these things, man.
I had that, but I had to go into Adam a little bit. Sure. Yeah. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 3, and I'll start verse 4. O Lord, who bears rule, thou speakest at the beginning when thou didst plant the earth, that thyself alone and commandest the people, and gavest a body unto Adam without soul.
Yep, because that was it. That's quoted earlier. Without a soul, meaning he didn't have instruction. You come on Earth, if you don't got instruction, you see all the stuff going on, the systems, how the Earth run. You don't have no instruction. You can't live on Earth successfully, man. Because Adam was given authority over all the animals, and pretty much every living creature on the Earth, man. So he was going to house management, man. He got set up with the wisdom of the Lord to run the earth, man, to run the business of the Lord on the earth, man.
Yep, you have that word, influencer. Like the influences, like that, to be an influencer. So you're influencing someone. So the Lord has influenced us in His way. He showed us His way. He's entered into our souls, and worked on our minds. It says, and thou gavest a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands. And thou didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee.
Yep, you go into breath, it goes to inspiration, inhale, And the Lord inspired Adam, through the Spirit to what? To rule over his creation, man. Because if you can receive the Spirit, Adam was who? It was Yahweh Shai, man. It says that in, what was it, 1 Corinthians 15?
Yep. The first man to earth was
a living soul, and the last Adam was put in the Spirit. Forget it. 1 Corinthians 15 and 45. Yep. Because again, on the earth, contrary to popular belief, it's not just a playground to do what the hell you want to do, man. To do as thou wilt. When you're here on the earth, you're supposed to be instructed, to what? To follow the Lord's creation, man.
Yes, this is 1 Corinthians 15 and 45. And so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul.
Yep, because if you understand the scriptures, Adam wasn't the first person on earth, which they teach you in school and modern day Christianity. No, man, there was a line of the wicked, the seeds of men, all right? The seed of the wicked and the seed of the people of God, man.
The righteous.
The righteous.
I mean, even when you read, it tell you man was created before it got to Adam and Eve. It'll tell you that man was created in, the creatures and all of that.
It said everything that walked on the earth.
Yeah,
it didn't say man, but
yeah, all living creatures.
Yeah, all living creatures. Yeah, and man is a living creature.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So man was created before Adam.
Yeah, man was created on the 5th day. Understanding was given on the 6th.
The seventh rested.
Yeah, the 7th day resting.
Because, on the earth, there was a line called Adam, man. Meaning, because why would the Lord instruct Adam, to take of your rib, meaning of your kin, not literally a rib, and marry her, man?
Yep.
Because Adam had a father and a mother, just like Eve had a mother and father, man.
Mm-hmm.
But not to go off topic.
Yeah, we'll go into it a little bit in the next verse, the second verse. It says, the first man of the earth, and 1 Corinthians 15 and 45, and so it is written, the first man, Adam, was made a living soul.
Yeah, the first man the Lord was dealing with.
Mm-hmm. The last man, Adam, was made a quickening spirit.
Yeah, which is Yahweh Shai. Because Adam fell. Adam went off following after the woman, and that's why sin entered into the world, man. Yep. But Yahweh Shai, again, you understand reincarnation, he came to fix all that, man.
Yep.
That's what Ezra's crying about. Mm-hmm. Because Adam's a mistake, now we all suffer, man. So the last Adam was a quickening spirit because what? The spirit is what quickens, right? The flesh is struggling, man, it's carnal. And Jake been in the flesh for how many thousand years and still been dying because of what happened in the garden, being in Jerusalem.
Yeah. Oh, Adam, what hast thou done? It wasn't thou that fell alone, but all that came after thee. So, like your brother said, he fixed that now. That's a beautiful thing. Yahweh Shai, we've been given access back to the reconciliation of Yahweh by Shemawah Shai. But this is back in 2nd Ezra 3 in verse 6 now. Read the bottom of 5. And thou didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee, and thou leddest him into paradise, which thy right hand had planted before the earth came forth.
Yeah, it was all set up from the beginning, man. Because again, you have to go a little bit deeper. If you understand Genesis 1:1, really what it means, with the gods, right? God created, that could be, it goes into Alahayim, man.
Yep.
So it was a whole setup. Before creation was set up, you had, spirits, beginning spirits first created under Yahweh Shai to set up the earth, man. And Adam was brought on the earth to run that, man, which was Yahweh Shai. Now after him was supposed to be, because remember, we weren't supposed to die, man. We weren't supposed to die. The sons of God weren't supposed to die, man. Eventually, over time, Adam lived for 100 some plus years. Men of old, they live hundreds of years. Now Jake lucky if he gets 60, man. Because over through age, we all fell, man. That's why Yahweh Shai had to come, man. That was on that, right?
Yeah, that was the point.
We can kind of this time. You got some.
Yeah.
Good point.
No. I was going to say, Yahweh Shai breathed onto his disciples the breath of life.
It's like the same breath.
Yeah, and it said, receive ye the Holy Spirit, and you shall receive power, and you should be witnesses unto me, in Jerusalem and the othermost parts of the earth, right? So we've been given power to raise the dead. through the pure inspiration of the Almighty, the breath, this knowledge, the true understanding of Yahweh by Shema Shai, and faith will cometh by hearing, and hearing by the word of the Lord. We get second Ezra?
Yeah, you can Ezra. Someone get 1 Peter 4, 7.
Okay.
Things at hand.
Okay, I'm gonna get kind of flavor of the week. Second Ezra 16.
Yeah.
This is second Ezra chapter 16, verse 17. It says, "Woe is me, who would deliver me in those days?"
Yeah. And anybody would say that if they seen what Ezra seen, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was a terrible vision. Ezra caught hell to get insight of what was really gonna happen in these last days, man. And now all you gotta do is get on the YouTube and just listen, man. Of course, the Spirit gotta be dealing with you, but Ezra caught hell, man. Having terrible visions and dreams. Having however many scribes it was to write down what he was dealing with and seeing. It was so much, man. He was getting sick. He had to go on fast. Then he go on another fast to get more insight. Again, now Jake just had the luxury of going on to YouTube, man. If you happen to walk past, just take a second and listen, man. Speaking about Apostle Nels on down, but for the most part, like we went into earlier about gold, it's hidden, man. Gold is valuable because it's not everywhere. All the dust on the earth, only a little bit of gold comes from the earth, man.
Where do you buy gold from? You hear that all? Most people don't know. Oh, a pawn shop. I don't want to go into a pawn shop, buy gold, get scams, pay a merchant fee. We out here freely giving it to you. Man, this is second Ezra 16 and 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death.
So it's going to be ultimately a time period, of ultimate time going on until the Lord finally returns, man. Matthew 24 chapter, wars, rumors of wars. It's an accumulation of events that ultimately lead to the Lord returning, man. Which that's why the importance of prophecy. But the beginning meaning the entering in. There's no going back, man. 2020, 2019, 2020, that world before that, we're never going back to that, man. Never going back past 2012, 1990. Jake's still crying about the 90s and the 70s. We're never going back to that, man.
Yep.
Because why? Because the Lord is pushing His world forward, ultimately to the agenda of Yahweh Basham Shai being prophecy, man.
Yep. And it reads, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death.
So he's prophesying, boy.
The beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come?
Yep, which is a good question. Because we're all going to have to live this. Ezra knew that back then, man. That he was going to have to be back here, to endure what's going to happen on the earth, man. Because spirits are reincarnated. You don't just escape and, you in hell forever, you in heaven forever. Heaven, heaven and hell, which there is a heaven, going to where the spirits go. But that's it. The spiritual realm, which is above, man. Not under the earth, You got somebody with a pitchfork down there poking people,
Hey, it's crazy. They even have a saying, pain is temporary. So, pain is temporary. So suffering is temporary. Eventually going to end. And something else is going to take its place. People say it all the time. But hell, come on, bro.
Yeah, and they don't get into the actual meaning of the words, because hell is the state of condition.
This is second Ezra 16 and 18 at the end. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment.
Yep, and that's what's happening now, and it's been happening, man. All these scourges being, the judgments of the Yahweh Basham Shai, catching hell. It's for amendment, meaning to change. Jake, to snap out of reality, like when you get put in a pen in a prison house, so you can think, man. You're in adversity. You're put in a place to think about what you did, man. That's here on the earth, man. I told earlier about the condition of the battle, man. If Jake was in paradise, he wouldn't be out here complaining, man. Crying and marching and talking about giving my food stamps, But, Jake, instead of repenting and turning back onto the Lord, they double down on wickedness. Because that's what they trust in. Oh, I'm going to rob and steal. Instead of, no, I'm going to repent to the Lord, Maybe I've been living wrong. I haven't been being grateful, for the teats, the benefits. Let me turn back onto my power and repent, man.
Yep.
I'm going to steal. I'm going to rob. do this ABC, man. You know?
Because right now the music is being turned off. You know, I was watching a video on the way to camp how most people don't even know how to sit in silence. You know, most people don't know how to be bored. You know, because during those times of boredom, you know, they're standing 15 seconds at the light just across the road. They're on their phone while they're waiting. They can't wait 15 seconds. That microwave society, you know, and that never gives you time to reflect. You know, that beep that goes off, you're always, you know, staying locked in to the system. And you never reflect. And our people have not really considered, you know, the things to come. Everything's a joke. Everything is a game. Everything's funny until it's not. You know, sorry, not to say 6 months later, and niggas is still talking about their plight with the Hebrew Israelites. 6 months later. You know, a year later. You know, since the elder from South Carolina has been like really honing in on those type of videos. You know, focusing on, you know, the TikTok drama. You know, a year later, niggas is still my plight with the Hebrew Israelites. Do you not know these scourges, all this judgment going in the earth, you supposed to be listening to those men? They don't consider. Sorry. This is 2nd Ezra 16:19. It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness.
That's why it says Isaiah 1, Isaiah the 1st chapter about our people. The whole head being sick, you know, all they're going to do is revolt more and more. Why should I stricken you anymore? Because, you know, it ain't enough, man. When you getting the belt 24/7, you know, you're getting chastised and corrected by the Lord, and you still don't turn back from your evil. Or you go back to the ancient world, what happened to a child like that? They get stoned, man. In front of everybody. You know? And everybody has to throw a stone, man. You know? Because why? Because the evil has to be purged from the nation, man. Because that's contagious, man. YN behavior, man. One sinner can, you know, pollute a whole classroom, man.
Level the whole heart.
Exactly.
Yep. Because the class clown. Because really, it's like a, you know, I was a class clown growing up. You know, everybody started laughing. They start egging you on. You go even harder. You know, I'm in control of this class now.
You got an audience.
You know, I got an audience. They don't want to listen to you, teacher. We tired of you. You know, they want to listen to me. And that's how it is. The prophets being the teachers, and you got a bunch of class clowns running around. You know, upbraiding, you know, and it's going to lead to them in a state of being upbraided, you know, going and rioting in the streets because they don't have a hedge.
And pretty much the stuff Jake's trying to avoid is going to come upon them, man. Famine, plague, pestilence, the stuff that you're running from. If you thought you got a good job, you wouldn't have to worry about, man. Having come into want and need, man. Coming up short every month. You know, you thought you escaped that by going to school and getting a 6-figure salary, man. No, now you got more bills and more shit you can't pay for, man.
Like, damn. Let me go ahead and put this on this credit card because I need it. I need it because you haven't done anything for yourself. So you put it on the credit card. And now next month comes, damn. I didn't think about that oil change I was going to have to get. Now I got to put the oil change in. Now I can't pay back the credit card. Now I'm in high interest debt.
This created a lifestyle that just puts you in the ditch.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to push you in the ditch in the end.
That's right. God damn. This is 2nd Ezra 16 and 20. But for all these things they shall not turn from the wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges.
So nothing clicks. No aha moment for the wicked of our people, man. Let us serve the Lord, man. Maybe what they're saying on the corners, them weirdos, all right, but whatever they'll call us, man. You know, when we're, you know, are tired, when in a normal situation, they don't, you know, they always want to be around us. They want to talk your ear off, you know, talk about nonsense, you know. But when we come up here and preach, that's how you know, as the Lord says, it's not you they hate, it's me they hate, man. You know, you come in the name of the Lord and people don't want to hear, right? When this directly involves you, man. You know, that's Amos, the 9th chapter. The wicked of our people shall die with a sword, which says the evil shall not prevent or overtake us.
Yep.
Being complacent.
All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword.
Exactly. Yep. Amos 9.
Yep.
Yep. We say that ain't gonna happen to us. You watching a news clip of somebody getting swallowed up, you know, in Turkey for an earthquake. That don't never happen over here.
You know, you see like some ninjas getting chased by the cops. When them ninjas left the house, they had the same drugs that you bring in the car every time. They had their blunt. They probably had their toolie. They said, "No, I'm not gonna run from the cops today." But they said, "Nah." The heat got on, the pressure. They bugged out. They just started running. Now they're in a high-speed chase. Oh, dang, that's a lick right there. And then that lick turned into GTA. You know, they didn't think that they watching. Nah, that could never happen. Nah, that's gonna be you on the 5 o'clock news one day. You know, bugging out. You know, on social media. Because you had women that, you know, his brother was going into, they never thought it would be them. A lot of these women, brother's been, you know, pointing out, a lot of these reporters, these are the same women that were a month ago gloating about how they get $1,000 worth of food stamps every month in their grocery hauls and what they've been putting in. And it's funny because you have Edomites. I've seen a couple of clips about Edomites. They would talk about my $4,000 worth of food stamps are going away. That's satire. You know, they're making a joke about the reality of what's coming. They're just talking shit. That's not real. They're not really. They didn't really get $4,000. It's a joke to make fun of the black woman, to make fun of you so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American women. Right?
And the funny thing is, there would be more Edomites on there, man.
Yep.
You know, than Jake.
144. Sorry, another 144. How's it going?
I got Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 23. Behold, the whirlwind of the Lord goeth forth with fury. A continuing whirlwind. It shall fall with pain upon the head of the wicked.
Going to these missiles, you know, the Lord bringing hell upon the head of wicked, which is Esau, you know, but the head of wicked of Jake is Judah, man, you know. So northern kingdom, of course, we talk about it, they catching it. And of course, the southern kingdom, man, they're gonna get it worse, man. You know, talk about eating their kids and slaughtering their children, right? That's gonna happen again, man. You know, eating your belts, right? You read about accounts of Josephus, what was happening in Jerusalem in 70 AD, you know, a little bit before 68, 70 AD. You know, onwards.
Because the Northern Kingdom, they honestly just more hand shabby. They know how to, you know, Northern Kingdom, they know how to garden, things like that. They might have, you know, they got their Spanish markets.
Construction, they'll get down in 30.
You know, so they have their Spanish markets, so they have a source of food supply. You know, they have their connections. But what is Jake gonna do? Jake don't got the black market. Where? Where's the black market at? These niggas, they got fruit. Northern King got the meat and the fruit connect. So Jake is the Judah is gonna be through out here.
All Judah got is the corner store, gas stations, the corner store.
Yeah, damn.
Walmart, Food Line. The fierce anger of the Lord shall not return until he have done it, and until he have performed the intent of his heart. In the latter days, you shall consider it.
You know, so the Lord's not going to pull back. You know, you're hoping for it to let up and things go back to normal. You know, get used to it getting worse, man. You know, the overall condition of the earth is just going to wax worse because why? The devil who's in power, Esau, he has an agenda to fulfill, man. And he's straight, man. He has to fulfill this NWO. He has no other plan, plot. He's not thinking about repenting, all right? Open up his secrets and tell you what he was really doing on the earth, talking about the elites and what their plan is for you with these 2030, 2035 agendas, man. You know, they want to turn you into robots, man. You know, put a chip in you, control you like a dog, man. You know, talk about parasites. A lot of these things that you inhale and they take in, they're all genetically modified, man. I mean, there's stuff that's in there that shouldn't be in there, man. You know, they got DNA strand, like you said, the M to the A, whatever the M, whatever the shit.
The MR.
Yeah. It's altering what? Your thoughts, your whole makeup, man. So now you don't got the God gene. You're talking about what is God? Who's God? You're not thinking like that, man. You're like, damn, where's the next paycheck? Where the hoes at? That's Jake now, man. These damn Cheetos, man.
Yeah, most people don't. They don't believe nor disbelieve in the God.
Yeah, exactly. They're indifferent. You know, atheists. They don't believe in nothing. You know, there's no purpose to nothing. That's a lousy existence, man. That's Psalm 14 chapter. The fool said in his heart, there's no God, man. Anybody that says they don't believe in a God, all right, most of the time they're off, man. They got piercings like out the wazoo, man. Piercings everywhere.
A fucking neck tattoo. I mean, like, you gotta be a demon to have a neck tattoo. You know they were on drugs when they got it. Like, you know, they got numbed up. They took some stuff so they can get that tattoo. You think you're really gonna neck tattoo niggas all on your Adam apple stabbing it? You gotta be on drugs to do stuff like that. Now be real. A forehead tattoo.
You take tattoos all on the face.
Goes back to Egypt.
You even got women doing it. Tattoos all on their faces. Dumb, stupid shit too. Jeremiah 30 verse 24. The fierce anger of the Lord shall not return.
Yep, so the fierce anger of the Lord is not going to return, man. Again, you're not pulling off this day anymore, man. You know, Jake's been running from the day of the Lord for how long, man? Saying, oh, my granddaddy, my grandma been talking about the Lord returning. That's Ezekiel 12, man, that proverb. He's saying those prophecies are for a time far off, man. We got to worry about, you know, shit like that, you know. Well, here it is, man. The AI boom, you know. You thought robots would never take over. You watching I Am Legend, you know. No, I Am Legend. iRobot. That's another one, I Am Legend.
Yeah, that's
Same nigga. iRobot, you like, that'll never happen, man. You got the Audi driving on the damn tunnel, top of the tunnel. You like, that should have never happened.
Hey, those vehicles look like the Tesla vehicles.
Yes, similar.
Yeah, very similar to the Tesla vehicles. And some of these, you know, America is kind of late behind. You have cities in Japan who have the autonomous setup. Like, it's a normal thing. You have a very small part of Austin, Texas.
China.
You know, you have a very small part of, I believe, the Bay Area doing the autonomous, the Wago. You know, doing the self-driving cars. So we're here. They're building that system now. And they don't need to build it for everyone. They just need to build it for them. You see? And they're just going to have a great calling and cut you people off.
Yeah, because the only people that benefit from this fourth industrial revolution is corporations. It's not in it for you everyday people, man. You can buy into the stock or whatever, but you have no input on the direction of the world, man. Because ultimately, again, like Brother was saying about America, it's the corporate states of America. They serve their corporations, man, and their handlers, right? Their board meetings. They don't care about you losing your job and having to get your house foreclosed and you sell your car or whatever the hell. They don't give a damn about that. They worry about profit margins.
That's right. They care about their shareholders. And I seen the video. Yeah, like you were saying, you can invest in the market. He said, but these niggas own the market. Like, they own it. So you can invest, but...
Yep. And the cool part is you're funding their agendas, man.
Yeah.
That's how they fundraise. You know, that's how stock's created, man, to fund their interests.
That's the purpose. Yeah, that's the purpose of it. You want more robots? Well, you gotta pay now. You know, and then in the future we'll have earnings to show forth. You know how they break it down, earnings per share, blah blah blah, whatever. Right? But here it is. It's all leading to the 2030 agenda. You should own nothing and be happy. Because now, the science guy, you know, that's my new name for him. Not Bill Nye, the science guy, but you know, the Apple, the Microsoft guy. Are we the science people? Yeah, you're the science guy. You know, are we the idiots calling the masses of the people idiots? He said there's a problem with how AI deepfakes. You're not going to be able to tell the difference. So he said he's so wise. You know, governments are going to start wanting things regulated. You know, so we're moving in. Oh, digital currency. You know, they were saying how they're trying right now with the blockchain with Bitcoin to start people. There's a cry to start allowing images to be sold on the blockchain. So what they're insinuating is that with cryptocurrencies, you'll be able to go undetected by buying information, because the ledger, you have the ledger to be able to show what you bought, but it's going to be shrunk down to a size to where you can't really see what it is. So now people will be able to buy and sell things that are illegal and get away with crimes, transactions of crimes, even if they do go digital. So they can keep things under the scope. Let their crimes still get away, but it ain't gonna be there for you to do that. And there's gonna need some type of regulations so we can weed out the bad apples. So they can protect themselves at the end of the day. So we're in those times. I hope that all made sense. You got to know a little bit about the blockchain. Just kind of explain the best of my ability.
You got the blockchain and everything going digital. Even I just Elder Time brought up Mexico. And Mexico going digital. And you got fucking Mexico going digital, like.
Yeah, you got the CEO
of one of the poorest countries.
So-called, right?
Yeah, so-called one of the poorest countries.
You have the CEO of BlackRock, basically saying they want to tokenize everything. So this way, that's why you're going to really own nothing, because everything is going to be tokenized. So you're going to have the elites that own everything, and you're going to own your share of it. Oh, there's this house. Instead of you selling your house and giving your whole house away, I can buy 5% of your house from you and share in that equity and use that equity elsewhere. So it's like an unlimited money glitch hack, right? And you have people doing that now with like things like YouTube channels. I'll buy 5% of your YouTube channel, right? But what I really own? You're doing all the work.
Right.
It's yours, but you tokenize it and I can have a percentage of that. That's why even with cryptocurrencies now, you don't have to buy one Bitcoin. You can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. So it's already here, but they're building the infrastructure so when they go full on grid, it doesn't crash. So that's the time we're in now. If you're paying attention, utility stocks are booming. Mineral stocks are booming, right? AI stocks, because that's where big money, follow the money. That's where the money is going. Anyone on that, Jeremiah? We over here just yapping.
The fierce anger of the Lord shall not return until he have done it, and until he have performed the intent of his heart. In the latter days, ye shall consider it.
Yep, it's all going to make sense in the end, man. Again, that you put it off day to day, making terror to serve the Lord, it's going to make sense in that day, man. Yep, I said, you want to grab that? Because why? Because then shall no prophet have been among them, man. Especially concerning Revelation 13 verse 16 on down, man. Going about the MOTB system, man. Which, again, you thought was never going to be a thing. You think God cares if you put a chip in your hand. Okay, we're going to see, man. Because it's more than just the physical action of it, man. It's more so you are bowing down and giving allegiance to another God, man. You're saying E is your God, man. You're going to serve him. You can do whatever you want with my body, man. I'm indebted to him because I got his technology in me, man. As long as I can, pursue my career and chase after the stuff I want to do in the flesh, then I got no problem with that. And that's why, again, this world got to be destroyed, man. Because if it wasn't for the elect, no flesh would be saved. Because you people's mind is all towards self-worship, and that's the biggest issue. Everybody wants to worship themselves as a god. This is the devil's take on you shall be gods knowing good and evil. You shall be as gods. Be his technology. The whole apple being bit. It's in a whole system in rebellion against the Lord, man. And you're participating in that, man. You're taking the juicy juice. Bet you're taking that chip. You saying, okay, I got no problem with that. The Lord's not real. But he's going to show you he's real, man. It's Isaiah 1 and 7. You got Isaiah?
Yeah, I got two in Isaiah. This is Isaiah chapter 46, verse 10. Declaring the end from the beginning. start at verse 9. Remember the former things of old.
Yep. Remember. And remember who told you, man. Through the Spirit, man. Remember what's happening on the earth. And remember who told you what's going to happen, man.
Yep.
Go ahead.
For I am Yahweh, and there is none else.
And again, the world's going to found out that the hard way, man. The whole time it's been the Lord, man. You thought it was Buddha. You thought it was your bad juju, you know? Your ancestors gave. No, man. The Lord, the whole thing is in his hand, man. The left and the right. The Lord has a monopoly on power, man.
Right.
You think a king's going to give away his power? You know? Especially talking about the King of Kings, Heavenly Father, his only begotten Son. He going to give you insight how to destroy him like it's some Marvel movie. You know, there's a secret rock you can throw at him. No, man. There's no such thing, man. Secret knowledge, you know? Niggas into hermeneutics and all this other weirdo shit.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys how deep y'all is into anime, but always right before the super villain or whatever get overthrown, he got to go over this whole monologue about his moves, his powers, what it takes for to build him up.
Why he did it.
His backstory. It's like 2 or 3 episodes of backstory, but nah.
I was born in the darkness. I didn't know the light till I was barely a man.
Ain't no secret plan. Ain't no. There's nothing that the Lord can. There's not. Hey, look, man. There's nothing that can be done against the Lord, man. That's the point.
Exactly.
For I am Yahweh, and there is none else.
Ain't nobody up here with me. Go ahead.
I am Yahweh, and there is none like me.
Yep. You're not going to find nothing as far as, again, the power of Yahweh, especially going into his glorious return. Nothing's going to ever top and match that, man. No matter how far Esau gets, you know, with his technology, the Lord let him push this thing, it'll never touch the Lord in the chariots, man. You know? The techie looks up there with these telescopes, you know, acting all weird, you know? Because why? Because he knows his time's up, man. There's someone higher than you. And there's nothing more frightful for a king or a ruler to know there's someone more powerful than you, man. That's why he's being paranoid, acting weird, man. Backstabbing. Can't come to agreement at the table, man. You know? And then you got the left-hand side, you got Satan putting a lying spirit on these left-hand prophets, man. Oh, yeah, do this, you know? Oh, man, that's a good idea. Okay, yeah, sure. You know? All that's doing is leading you to what? To your demise, man. You know? Because, again, Esau's carnal. Imagine how much he's losing sleep over what's happening to him, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know? His wives. Remember, Pilate's wife. She was having nightmares. You know, bad. She couldn't sleep concerning Yahushua, man. So how much, again, in these times, man? You know they bugged. That's Isaiah 47 chapter, man. They worry in them councils. The reports getting back. You know? And there's nothing good, man. And what's on Esau's mind? Let me hurry up. Let me rush. Right? Let me sell out. Because that's what he did from the beginning, man. Esau his birthright. He lost patience, man. That's Revelation 12 and 12. He gonna go back to that true form, man. Got that? Yeah. Finish that.
Whatever.
Listen.
Declaring the end from the beginning.
Right. So it's not by accident. You can't guess what's happening on the earth, you know, by carnal means, man. Especially being spoken to you thousands of years ago. What's the mathematics on that, man? Impossible. Besides who? Unto Yahweh Shai. Isaiah didn't have it in him to say, you know, exactly what's going to happen on the earth in these last days. It was put on him to say so, man. He didn't, you know, same with all the prophets, man. John the Revelator, he didn't know what the mark of the beast was. He was writing down what the Lord was giving him, man. You know? But now here in these last days, we know more than our forefathers, man. That's why, because it's speaking for itself. Go ahead.
That's Jay Comfort right there, man. 24 pack of Modelo's and a white woman. Hey, look, he walking strong, man.
Yeah.
He walking strong.
Declaring the end from the beginning.
Yep.
And from ancient times, the things that are not yet done. Saying my counsel shall stand, and I will do all my pleasure.
Yep, so everything on the table is going to be played out, man. As Yahushua said, now one jot or one tittle, right? To the least to the greatest of detail is not going to be missed, man. You know? And again, the Lord, going to his prophecies, he goes into even the mind of men. You know? That's how detailed his prophecies are, man. You read about that, Wisdom's on the 5th chapter, all right? They say within themselves, what is all this pride, you know, after they see the man of the Lord get beamed up, you know? He didn't just say, oh, it's going to be, the sky is going to be red, you know, which is in the scriptures, but a broad brush, you know what I'm saying? Like anybody can guess that shit. Oh, tomorrow will be Tuesday. Okay, nigga, duh. You know? But the Lord goes into, again, specific details so you know that it was him that did it. You know? Nobody else, other book, other God, man. Warned you what's to come. Because why? It's his program in the beginning, man. You know?
That's the difference between this book. I got to read this to you. That's the difference between this book and any other. That's why scriptures say that none shall want her make. Right? These scriptures are not just words on paper, they're alive.
Exactly. And there was no additions, no updates. It's been the word the whole time, man. You know? Yep. The Lord said, let me send an update, over here update on the Bible. Yep. You'll get a new chapter. No, man, the words have been the same the whole time, man. Because it was a perfect work. You know? No amendments, no let me add this, no secret book. Oh no. KJV's cool, but this version.
Yeah. The land that's slain from the foundation of the earth.
Yep, where's the chapter, man? You know? Man. We're catching up to the words of the Lord, man. Right. We're still behind, man. Right. There's still certain stuff you're going to discern Ezekiel breakdowns. Like, what? You know? Certain things we just, you know, the seven thunders that uttered in Revelation. What does that really mean, man? You know? We're going to find out, man. But, you know, again, we just know what we know because the Lord, again, is part of the end times. We got to wake our people up and get ourselves ready for the time, man. You know? And everything else, we'll find out later on, man. There's so much stuff, like the Lord's teasing Ezra. Measure the weight of fire. You know, call back yesterday. Add a you know, keep it to your statue. You can't do that, man. The stuff on earth you deal with every day, water. What is that really, man? You know?
Yeah, they have like Aladdin with the genie. You know, imagine the genie pulling up. You know, like he flex on you. The whole time he just flex. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. You know, great. You know, that's what the Lord is about to do on our people.
That's why the Lord challenged Esau. You know, if you cut these borders from me, meaning you can strip my power from me, then Israel could be a no people, man.
Because when you watch that movie, you know, everything's spiritual, right? The Lord's undefiled influences in all things. Yeah, but you know, in that movie, at the bad guy, he said, "I want to be a genie." You know, he made himself a genie.
The actual Aladdin.
The actual Aladdin movie. He made himself the red. He was the red genie.
Yep. What's that today? ChatGPT, Google. Yep. You know, what's God with Google, man? Yeah. I just ask Google. I don't ask the Lord no more. I'll ask ChatGPT or whatever other ones. You got Gronk, you know, Manus. It's a bunch of them. You know, why do I need to ask the Lord? I can pass the test without praying. I don't need to pray. You know?
So you get power to give life to the image.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's happening.
I was gonna say, you have these. I saw a video about with a wheelchair, and it was going downstairs. So it was like for someone now, this wheelchair is able to go downstairs. It doesn't need a ramp. You know, so it's like science is really like advancing. Miracles.
Yep.
Isn't that video that you put in the chat? I know it was a couple of weeks ago, probably, but or maybe you about robots in everybody's home.
Yeah, I think that was me.
Yeah,
who they have up there first? Well, you know, I definitely can use it in my house.
Right. They can need a motherfucking robot to fold your damn laundry. Wash the dishes, man. But that's the trap, man. Yeah. Anybody needs robots at your house so that what? It can be used for control of them, man. Like I said about them curfews in our robot. Yep. They gonna grab you and sit you down. What you gonna do with a robot? Yeah. They gonna strong arm you like this.
Hey, if he lets you go outside, he won't let you back in the house, though.
Oh, you done?
They might just like, all right, you ain't coming back in.
Okay.
Get it.
The robot don't sleep.
Oh no.
So his ass on you, bro. He in the house.
Hey.
He in the house. And
that motherfucker moves slow and close. But as soon as that protocol coming, that motherfucker start moving in ways you ain't know it can move.
Hey, there's a meme going around while the Tesla, they had their earnings this week and they were showing off their robots. It was like, while these niggas is dancing in front of you, they're in front of the military showing you how to get down with a weapon. You saw the movie Chappie, you know? Elysium. So they're gonna be your new supervisors at the job. They're gonna be security at the job. Security workers, we don't need y'all no more. Put the robots in there. They'll get it done.
And man, I might add too, I always say I got a customer that got something. But it's a retired military couple. The man bought his wife a robot. And it's like a robot with wheels and has a stand and has a tablet on top. So when you go to the Ring doorbell, the robot will come off his dock and come to the door. And then it'll look at you. And it'll ask questions and it'll send the message to the owner.
Yeah.
We in the future.
The future is now.
Yeah.
The future is now. Shit, you can ask questions by a robot. Like, damn, can I speak to a human? Y'all ever call on the phone to try to handle some business and you gotta talk to an automated voice and push 1,000? I'm like, can I speak to a human, please?
You know what's crazy?
Representative.
What's crazy is that they've had that for years, but now it's like, hey, do you want to implement this in your business? It's like, so that's old technology. So imagine the new technology that's slowly being rolled out now. Come on, bro. That bro's got it. Revelation?
This is 12 and 12? Yeah. Okay. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 12. I'm going to start at 10. That's our 10? Yeah. This is Revelation chapter 12 and verse 10. Accuser of our brethren. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, it's like it. That's 10. Yes, okay. Revelation 12 and 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation.
And that's how, through, the unicorn, right? The truth ultimately being pushed out, man. Salvation's come unto us because why? We understand the will of our power, man. We receive this ministry. Therefore we receive mercy, for the sake. So our salvation is again the words of the Al-Bashar Shad, man. What?
Now, verse 10 reading on, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his anointed, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night.
So we never let it up. That perpetual hatred, find out ways to make us look worse. Doing stuff, setting up Jake and trapping them, enticing them, putting drugs in the community, guns on trains, all this stuff has been coming out, man. CIA and their dark ops, man. It's a what? It's Psalm 83rd chapter, that crafty counsel, man. And it's dark, man. It's twisted, man. And again, the average Jake still don't understand what looms behind the curtain, man. What the devil really got for you, man. You think him picking out your country is a bad thing? You're gonna be begging to get kicked out real soon, man. Get me out of here, shit. I say just throw me out. First of all, where Jake gonna go, man? Yeah, they're gonna send you to a concentration camp. Because that's how they get you into slavery. They put you as a prisoner. Now you're gonna be in there for however long, indefinitely.
You're not making sure you make it fucking back.
That's too expensive.
I don't want to give them strong drink.
But again, the Lord is gonna do that, man. There's an ultimate after effect when Esau's taking on the power, man. It's like when the Lord did with Pharaoh and his army. He drowned them, right? The Lord gonna do that with missiles, man. You think now with AI, you saw that Department of Defense, they changing up TikTok to Jake, talking about they're gonna cash in on them bounties for them ICE agents, when the whole time it wasn't even about that. Jake was cooning out for Iran, to go against Iran, Esau do, change a few words, and now look, fuck around and find out. Now you're getting threatened, man. When you ain't even do nothing, man. So what do you think Esau gonna do now with this technology, man? Go ahead.
This place is so like bugged out and corrupt. I saw this guy. He owns like a hardware, like putting flooring and painting, right? This nigga's truck was being used for ISIS. Like his truck, he sold the truck to the dealership. They said they were going to take the decals off that had his brand name, and then it showed up on the terrorist video. Now, either that was Hollywood produced here in America, or they really sold that nigga's truck out there. And a lot of that stuff is Hollywood produced.
Right.
Like, let's be honest, bro. Let's just be real. Like, a lot of things are, this is theater war going on. They can create a goddamn Infinity Wars movie, then they can't create a ISIS video? You got it, bro.
Yep. And that's the whole scary part about it, man. And who's gonna check him, man? When he puts out the stuff like this, man, this wicked ass technology that he's weaponizing against Jake, man. You know?
Even with some of these AI videos, sometimes you got to go to the comments to be like, yo, is this real? Like, and then somebody would be like, they'll point out how it's AI and they'll have like certain symbols or
yeah, because they're on the internet all day. They got the eye for it.
Yeah, but sometimes you really can't tell. Like, I be having to like go, man, yo, ain't no fucking way. Like, y'all had to go like see like if it's real or not. But it's only gonna get better with these AI videos. It's only gonna get better. I mean, damn, they got videos of Tupac and Martin Luther King, and it look real, and it be looking real too.
Seen them with Tupac and Bruce Lee up there. I seen that.
Yeah.
Man, I think Tupac died 25 years ago. Let the nigga rest.
30.
Like 30. Yeah. 96.
But you see how with this technology, when it's being introduced, always behind folly. You know, that's the you know the back door, man, for you to bring this into your life, man. You know, there's no benefit behind that, man. You know, besides what, you know, like we're talking about, never trust your enemy, man. He's real subtle. He's deceiving you to invite this technology into. It's called social engineering. Right. You know, people get paid a lot of money to introduce technology into the world, man. You know, because at first, imagine the stuff you're doing now, washer and dryer. You know how hard it was for that to be mainstream. You know, it took time for people to buy into that stuff. Now, you know, you see it every damn house, man. Yep. Same with phones, right? Now everybody's using AI. You got grandpa talking about ChatGPT. He typing like this on the bitch.
Yep.
But he using it. You know?
Now you using it without even trying to use it willingly. It just on your phone automatically uses it.
Yep. So again, going to the accuser of thy brethren, man. Right? Remember the story about Troy and the Greeks saying about never trust Greeks bearing gifts. Yep. Like the whole Trojan horse, man. This is what's happening with AI is a Trojan horse of Esau's agenda, man. Yep. You know?
Let me bring us up to that point. This is Habakkuk 2:15. Woe unto him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also.
That bottle going to those philosophies, man. You know, really, really buying into Esau's science, man. In science class, he wasn't paying attention. You know, they do some chemistry shit, and shit start bubbling like, oh, okay, cool. You know, but again, going to Esau with cars, man. Everything got a screen in it. You know, your damn microwave got a screen, right? Because why? Because this is what this devil wants, man. He wants eyes and ears everywhere, man. If you understood how real sinister this technology is, you wouldn't invite it in your home, man. Yep. Your home supposed to be the safest place on the planet, man. Grandma's crib. That's the safest place on earth, man. But now, guess what? She got cameras everywhere. She had, using Alexa. You can't do a video because Alexa said, say it again. You know what I'm saying? Listen to you and shit.
Yeah. Hey, like with the cryptocurrency, like Bitcoin, everybody's like, who created Bitcoin?
Exactly.
You know?
Yep. Exactly. The CIA invented it, man. Mm-hmm. You know, and the Bitcoin, the whole thing with Bitcoin was, it's you're getting away from the system. You know, you're stepping away from central banks and all that. You know, you're getting your freedom back. Well, Bitcoin is as clear as, as crystal, man. You can see exactly what you're doing with Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. As far as the ledger, yep. You know, when you're sending stuff, you know exactly to your IP address where that shit came from, man. You know, so there's no such thing as freedom, man. It was just a trick to get you to talk about crypto, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of those, because brother's talking about a digital ID. That digital ID isn't just for you to work; it's also for you to access the internet. You know, and that's what they're moving towards.
Because everything's going to be behind lock and key. You know, they want everything behind lock and key. Get some.
Digital ID, that's going to be your social medias, YouTube, Word, everything.
What?
This is Isaiah 29:15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord.
Yep, because think about it. Again, the elites of Esau, they're not being touched, man. They're not impeded by any means. They're not being slowed up by you everyday people because you're riding and marching the streets. The program is going exactly as planned, man. And that's why he's so proud of Psalm 73rd chapter, man. Because he's not as in trouble as other men. He never heard no. The elites. What is no? Do it. You know? Now, your manager, especially if he's E. how proud Esau is, man. He just on a manager position. You know, you got damn my back, man. That's why I'm. You know, he don't want to hear that shit, man. That's how Esau really thinks, man.
Yep.
No compassion. You know, get it done. Them timelines, because again, Esau don't play by them timelines, man. You know, being on schedule. You know, Esau lose hair, man. Talk about earnings. You know, it's all about timelines, man. Where are we from this quarter to last quarter? You know, what's the report? Let me hear it. You know, that's Esau, man, and his agenda, man. Good. He hears Khan. That's all he hears. Khan. That's all Esau hears. You know, because he's empowered.
He'll off your ass if you don't get it done.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
stories like that.
I was watching the Mo Money movie. They was just offing everybody. Oh, you don't want to use our credit cards to buy us stuff. You know, be the front runner. Yep. All right then.
Yep. That's what happens. That's whistleblowers. You don't hear about Epstein. You hear about Trump being involved. You don't hear nothing about no Rockefeller, Rothschild. You're not gonna hear nothing like that, because if somebody got dirt on, they're not on the earth no more.
All the Hollywood bunkers were celebrities. Wait a minute, who are their handlers?
Exactly.
Who are paying the celebrities? It's not the movie tickets.
No.
You know?
Exactly. They can see pictures of them all white parties. You'll see Lil Baby, Drake, you know, and he's like, who's this little short nigga?
Who the fuck is Mike
Who's
Rubin?
Whose house are we at?
Rubin? I found out who Mike Rubin was fucking last year. I mean, I've heard of his name before, but I was like, why the fuck is a kid, Lil Baby, who just got famous 2 years ago, hanging around a fucking a nigga that's been in the industry for 25 years, not even his industry. I don't even think Mike Rubin do music. Well, I don't know what the fuck he do. Who is this nigga?
Who is he?
Why is he hugging on this guy like that?
Yeah, and why they always together, like you said.
Exactly.
Is a group, and you're not invited, man.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
It's like, whose house is this? Whose house are we at right now?
Exactly.
Nobody knows.
Yeah, they don't care. They on top of all type of drugs. They're gonna get grabbed like this to their room. It's that time. That's it.
It's just a venue.
Yeah.
That's what happens in them all-white parties. It's initiations, man.
And that's
it's a celebration for somebody about to sell out or some shit like that.
Yeah, that's why it's always, oh, this is somebody's so-and-so's old house. So-and-so's old house. Diddy's old house, or Scott Storch's old house, or it's like that because they did all that wicked shit in there. They got to get the fuck up out of there.
You wonder why all their houses got marble floors. You know, every goddamn house got a marble floor dance hall, checkerboard dance hall. You know, because
easy clean up.
That's some sick shit.
Yeah, I'll say this: if the average black woman can find herself at a party like that, what are the elites really doing? You know,
an average Shakisha from fucking south side of Raleigh,
flying to Dubai to eat in out of a bowl.
For 20 bands.
Yeah, right.
For 20 bands.
Yep. You gotta watch Eyes Wide Shut, man. The new one is him, you know, but him was, whack. But there's truth to it, man. You know, you think it's all outrageous. Most people hate them kind of movies because it hits close to home, man. Yeah. It really goes over your head. Woo. You know, this movie don't make no sense. But niggas open the door to what they really do, man. Yeah. You know, but the Eyes Wide Shut, that's a bugged out movie. That shit is bugged out.
You seen
Hell yeah.
Yeah, with Marlon Wayne? The new one? Yeah.
You gotta read it between the lines. It was a lot of real shit.
That's that Jordan Peele movie.
Yeah. That was gonna be funny. That shit was not funny. That shit was dead serious.
So Isaiah 29:15, woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord.
Yep, so woe means destruction. All that, to say that Esau, you doing all this shit behind the closed doors, you're covering your tracks, making sure nothing's gonna be seen, control opposition, you're going deep to hide your counsel. Woe unto you, man. Because the Lord still sees you, man. There's nothing hid from the Lord. Everything's naked, Meaning I can see through you. I can see what you're doing, man. But
and their works are in the dark.
Yep.
And they say, who seeth us, and who knoweth us?
Yeah, because darkness is a pretty much going to wickedness, man. So in the darkness, meaning I can't see. Your eyes can't see without light. So meaning if you're in total pitch darkness, you can't really see what I'm doing. Go in a pitch dark room, like you remember in school, lights go out. What's Jake doing? Making funny faces and being stupid.
Yeah.
When the lights come on, they freeze. That's how Esau operates on the earth, man. remember, his spirit, he's a fugitive. He's running from justice, right? You can't trace this man. You can't. Again, who's gonna lay charge to the elites? You know, who's gonna grab them up? What power do you have to take them out of power? None. They own the banks, they own the roads, they own the airways, the seas, everything, man. Because he has the fatness of earth and he rules by the sword, man. You know. But again, that's why someone's higher is coming, man. It's a show of force, man. When the Lord comes in the host of angels, he can just bring himself, man. Literally him. Yahushua just come by himself. Michael, you good? Raphael, Uriel, Gabriel, you can hold back on this.
He's sharing the fun. Exactly. Yahushua is sharing the fun because if he wanted to, he could take his time doing it too. One man just going like
slow kill.
You know, like you hearing the news being reported, Tokyo being overtaken. You're like, oh shit. And like, then he fly, he skip and he go from Tokyo all the way to Amsterdam. Then he might mess up Chicago, then go back out of the country, you know, to another country. He just.
Well, think about the fathership. That's what saw it. You couldn't see the end of it. Just park this bitch on top of you. And just sit it down. Earth's gone.
Yeah. He don't even really need the. That's how you know the Lord loves theatrics. He really don't even need the missiles. Like you said, he can bring the fathership low enough into the atmosphere and fuck everything up on the earth, man. You know what I'm saying? Waves, tsunamis. Yeah, he can do all that without even doing it.
Back that bitch in. Everybody be done, man.
And the one Independence Day movie, the second one, the new one, the one I ain't gonna say it was the new one, but the second one, and they sold the shit park onto the earth.
Yeah. Well, the scriptures talk about that. 1 foot in the land, 1 foot in the sea, landing gear. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Go ahead.
The ship was massive, and they said the ship was approaching Earth from behind the moon, which is why they didn't see it coming. And what they saying now with the 31 Atlas, it's behind the sun right now. They can't see it.
I mean, when you really think about it, like the Earth is magnificent, huge.
Yeah.
So it's like when they with those telescopes, they looking like this at a picture that's a mile wide.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know, and they trying to just, you know, the Lord going around them. You know, avoiding their UAVs because it's like a wave. It's not the full picture. It's so surveillance. This nigga don't got eyes just plastered all over skies to where he's able to see everything like that. You know, he got blind spots in his technology. That's right.
Yep.
Is it one here?
That's it. 16.
I'm gonna read Habakkuk one more time because I didn't finish that. Oh no, I dropped it. It's fine. I did. I guess I did finish it. Yep. Yep. This is Revelation. Yep. This is Revelation 12 and verse 10. And I heard. Is it 11? Oh yeah, you're right. Revelation 12 and 11, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
Yeah, so that's how we're going to overcome him, you know? It's by the blood of Yahushua. Not by no carnal means, because you strap, you hold your shit sideways, whatever it takes, switches, which, you know, what you see with Glocks now, they're not making Glocks no more, because they got pressured by, you know, the NRA about these switches, man. Also, what's that with the A? Damn. The agency, ATF. You got more pressure from ATF, now they're not making Glocks no more because of niggas. They're not making Glocks no more because of niggas.
Because of niggas.
Because the Glock switches.
But where does a ninja buy something like that?
The switch, right? Exactly.
Where do they?
Switch.
You know what I'm saying? Like, where do they get access to these things?
Exactly.
They can't pass a background check. You know, so what are they really doing? It's just, here you go, just drop it off in the city, and who's behind it? A white man.
Glocks are Australian.
Yeah. Austria. Yeah. But I'm saying, but I mean, like the brother's saying, it's easy to get. I mean, Jake found the means to get a gun. You know what I'm saying? No background check. No, they can't pass this. They can't pass that. They can get the gun, but shit, how you get a federally banned switch to put onto your gun? You know what I'm saying? Without any means, don't know nobody in the military, don't know no.
It should be hard to get access to
Exactly.
that. That should be in a store or at a gun range or something.
Now I understand maybe Jake might know his uncle might got a little something was in the military had it, but at the rate that these niggas is grabbing switches and killing each other, it's like motherfucker, like you said, like a dump truck of switches just dropping in the hood.
It's true because when you do that to your gun, it makes it super inaccurate.
Yeah.
So Esau, of course, that Esau would do that. Now he, grandma got hit and she just, making
babies,
him hop, whatever,
right
in the back. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a weapon of destruction, man. But go ahead.
Yep. Revelation chapter 12, verse 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
So we overcame by the blood of the Lamb. Go ahead.
Yep. And by the word of their testimony.
By the word of their testimony. Going to the spirit of prophecy. Again, not by marching down Broadway, singing whatever chants talking about the purple people.
Right.
That's not what the Lord's talking about. Okay, you're not going to be able to overcome Esau with carnality. He's the most carnal man ever to exist, man. Carnality, he is the god of carnality, man. And you can't overcome carnality with carnality. It says in Romans, don't overcome evil with evil, overcome evil with good. Light, man. Remember, he's in darkness. Light is always going to overpower darkness, man. And that light is the wisdom of Yahweh Shai, man. Ultimately, again, going to that blood. That's the only way we can overcome, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, reads on verse 11, the latter end, and they love not their lives unto death.
Yep, love not your lives unto the death, because again, that's another snare for this NWO, this world in general, is you to love your life, man. The soft things, the comfortable things, the fancy stuff, going to the super expensive Michelin restaurant, going on a trip to Greece in first class, as you love being life, man. Sit in the goddamn back,
Get 12. Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens. Yep, rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them.
Yep. So he's like, damn, I thought the Lord was talking about all this evil that's going to happen. Why are you talking about rejoice? The Lord says he's going to bring lamentation, he's going to bring war, he's going to bring destruction. He's talking about the elect ultimately, man.
Yep.
Rejoice and be glad. Why? Because ultimately, what's happening on earth, if you had a spiritual mind to see ultimately what the Lord's doing, he's setting us up to win. This place going down is for us to win, man. There's going to be a vacancy in power when this devil goes down. It's not going to be, China man. It's not going to be the Indian man, right? Because a lot of people sleep on India. And India's supposed to be the next superpower, man. China is going down. China's in trouble, man. India's really, with people being carnal, India's supposed to be the next superpower, man.
Yeah. Because China's just going to, whatever deal they can make. They have their gold for leverage. We got our workers. We got our precious minerals. But they don't got it.
No. The infrastructure is terrible. They have a lot of stuff they're dealing with. But the MOTP system is definitely on point. But
in India, they've been dealing with the biometric systems too, fingerprint and all that.
So you saying the niggas that's calling you on these wacko numbers, trying to scam you, they're gonna be in power next. Every damn 2 minutes your phone ringing talking about unknown caller. And you answer somebody, in a room with a bunch of people talking. It's a scam, man. But the nigga got your name. One nigga said my name. I said, what the hell? You think they're gonna be in power next? Talking about Elam? No, man. They had Babylon. They're not coming back. Talking about ancient Babylon. They're not coming back into power, man. But, go ahead.
I just got a new phone recently, and I only use it, for a couple things, and my data is already breached.
Damn.
I was like, damn, but the data is already breached in the phone. They came with a bug on it.
There's always a back door.
Yep. It was on verse 12. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth.
Yep, there you go. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth. He's saying the Lord's bipolar or something. He's saying rejoice and he's saying woe. Because he's talking to a specific people. Right? His elect. Rejoice. Be glad. Everybody else, woe means destruction. Those in that wide and broad gate. Go ahead.
Yep. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea.
The islands. Go ahead.
Yep. For the devil is come down upon you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time.
So he's going to rage. He's going to rage quick.
Right.
And when someone's raging, there's no rationales out the window. There's no politicking. There's no let's vote for this. You know, let's talk about it. When someone's enraged, you know, eyes red, you can't talk them down, man. You know, it's over with. Again, going to Esau, he's gonna come down having great wrath because ultimately he's losing his power. He's done. Of course he's gonna be mad. Denied when he lost the blessing to Jacob. He said, I'm gonna chase my brother with a sword. He's gonna do that now, man. He's a sword loser. He's not gonna admit defeat, you know, honorably bow down, you know. Say good fight, good match, you know, telling to Jacob, y'all got it, y'all got some people for real. No, he's gonna double down, triple down, quadruple down on evil, all right, and make the rest of the people on earth suffer. So remember, as the Lord said, if it wasn't for the elect's sake, no flesh would be saved. Esau would set up to Mars, man. They'll get on, you know, Apollo 666, and go on Mars, man. Why you down here in the earth scorching in hell? You know, because of what he did on earth, you're gonna say, well, you know, fuck it. You're not gonna bat an eye, man.
Yeah, because that's what like someone who's like in a position of power, someone who's like a deity, like a dignity or something like that.
Dignity, yeah.
It's like, well, it should be our people's joy to die for the crown. It should be their joy to serve the crown and, you know, put yourself in the lowest state like that. You see?
Because Esau wants to deify himself. He's God. He's, you know, white. You know, he's pure. Of course, he's gonna get delivered. You know, with small heads. Them small heads are, you know, talking about pride, man. They're the height of pride, man. You know, because why? Because again, you know, Amalek. You know, they're the chief of Esau, man.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. 1 Peter 4:7.
This is the book of 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer.
Yep, so you know at the end of the day that this whole setup is set up to be destroyed, man. So being sober, you know, because being sober is important, of course, physically, but spiritually, man. Because when you're drunk and you're out of body, you're not in your right mindset, you know, that's how you control it, man. You get demons put on you, you know. You get, you know, put in altered states, right? That's how demons can enter in and mess with you, man, right? So if you're not sober, you're going to say the MOTB is Christianity. It's the white image of JC. That's the MOTB, you know? Nah, man. That's a drunk statement. Or you say, oh, we're going to build communities, you know? We're going to come together and take over America, all right? And it's going to be our country. That's drunk, man. You're drunk, man, okay? So be sober and watch unto prayer, all right? Pray unto the Lord, you know, that you have mercy on us, man. Because, again, what's coming, you cannot call and prepare, you know, yourself to escape or get through. It's going to be through the grace of the Lord, man. We're talking about the righteous scarcely being saved. I think that's the next verse, man. You know? So again, we watch, we pray, we ask the Lord to have mercy, all right? The kind of word we call the elect, because nobody else is getting beat up on those ships, man. No matter, you know, how much money you got in your wallet, you just say, which is probably not in the day of wrath, man. You know? So, are we wrapping it up or what? Close enough?
This is 3 verses.
Gilbert, you want to get that?
One more time.
We're pretty much about to wrap it up.
Okay. One more time. We'll close.
Okay, come on. This is 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 7. But the end of all things is at hand.
Yep. So sure, there's an end, man. End being Esau, right? And the end going to the time period, the conclusion of all this, how this thing plays out, okay? Reading Jeremiah, he's going to give us an expected end, thoughts of peace, all right? But for everybody else, you know, especially going to Esau, they're done for, man. Go ahead.
Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer.
So stick to the script, okay? You know, all these winter doctrine, these remixes, these backpedalers, okay? Podcasters, right? These Johnny-come-latelys, right? Remember who taught you and whom you learned from, man. You know? Speak to that sound doctrine. Because again, while everybody's playing around and changing up the doctrine and finding new things to worship and get into, the whole time the Lord's been speaking, man. You know? And we'll see what your ideologies and stuff you went to school for is going to teach you do for in that day, man. You know? Them guys you called on, all right? The lucky shoes you have, okay? It's not going to deliver you in the time to come, man. Okay? So that's pretty much it, man. You know? Sober reminder that we're in some terrible times. Pay attention. Be on point. Don't be simple. Remember that the enemy wants something from you. Being the faith you have, his word, okay? It's something precious, man, when you hold on to it, man. You don't just give it up and fumble it up, man. You know, to a woman. You get a new woman now, you can't find this guy no more. You know? So that's pretty much it.
Yes, permission. You close it out.
Okay, so with that, those words edifying, and those words called praises. So Heavenly Father, to one begotten Son.
Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Kakurash.
Jump on again to the elders and apostles of the millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect individuals. Shalom.
Shalom.